Hey, in this week's episode of the Game Informer Show, we're going to dive into our review of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
The easiest shorthand is it is the Ocarina of Time structure, where there's Hyrule Field in the middle and you can ride Epona from the points of interest that you need to get to.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening in Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
We're also going to be talking about Marvel Cosmic Invasion in the sense that you select two characters and you are tagging them in and out in a very Marvel vs. Capcom or Marvel Tag Fighter kind of way. And we're going to share our expanded thoughts on Kirby Air Riders as well as a brand new Phoenix Wright inspired mystery game, Detective Instinct Farewell, My Beloved. Hey everybody, welcome to the Game Informer Show, a weekly podcast covering the video game industry. Join us each and every week for a discussion on the latest gaming news, reviews, and exclusive reveals with Game Informer staff and special guests from around the industry. I am your host, Marcus Stewart, and joining us all the way back from his trip to Planet Veros is Kyle Hilliard. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I really had a moment there where I was like, I didn't go anywhere recently, but also I did, which you'll read about in the next issue. But I was like, I don't know. It was very confusing for me until you said the word Veros.
And then the fog began to clear. Yes, Veros, which is of course the location of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is the big talker for this episode. Kyle reviewed the game. His review is live on the site, and I'm gonna be picking your brain about the game, telling us all about how good or bad or in between it is. I will be talking about my review of Marvel Cosmic Invasion as well. And later in the show, we're going to have Charles Harte hop on to talk about Kirby Air Riders, as well as a fun little indie game called, oh my gosh, what was the name of it? Detective?
Oh no, don't put me on the spot.
Hold on. I know the name of this game. Detective something, something. I'm actually pulling it up now. I thought I could remember it from
Detective
memory.
something.
You know the ones.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. Detective Instinct, Farewell, My Beloved, a Phoenix Wright inspired indie game that has kind of been his jam lately. So yes, Stay tuned for all of that. But of course, first and foremost, before we jump into Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, if you want to support Game Informer magazine, you should do so by getting yourself a subscription to said magazine. You can do that by going to GameInformer.com/subscribe. As you can see here, if you're watching the video version, Kyle Hilliard holding up our latest issue with the cover story for Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. You can even see through the screen the improved paper quality, the shiny sheen of all of the pages, bearing the words, talking all about Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. And yes, if you would like this issue and several more sent to you every month or most months, it is GameInformer.com/subscribe. Get physical issue as well as a digital issue. And for our international readers that can't get a magazine subscription, you can get a digital only subscription for a reduced price. However, while you may not be able to get a subscription to the magazine overseas, you can, alongside everyone in the US, go to newsstands and storefronts, because beginning this month, Game Informer is appearing in bookstores such as Barnes & Nobles and Books A Million and others in the US, as well as most other countries. We'll say it's a long list.
It's a long list in a way that's awesome. You know, it was It was very exciting to read that full list. I didn't realize how long it was.
Yeah, can confirm Canada, the UK, several European countries, as well as Japan. So yes, we have an article on our website that's kind of pinned there, sort of breaking down every country that we will be appearing on newsstands and bookstores. So I encourage you to go to GameInformer.com and check that out if you have any questions if we're coming to your country. But yes, that will begin rolling out this month. In fact, I went to my Barnes & Noble yesterday at the time of recording, and I found the Dragon Quest issue there, and I was very happy to see. It was very surreal to see a thing that I helped write in a bookstore. It was kind of, as someone that aspires to write a book one day, it was kind of my first taste of what that kind of feels like, to be like, oh yeah, I can go in here and be like, no, I wrote in that. That's
my name's
thing.
in there. I'm excited to do it. Tomorrow at the time of this recording, I'm going to hit up my local Barnes and Noble and see if I can see it.
Yes.
Because as long as I've been a Game Informer, we were in Game Stops obviously during that time, and we will be again weirdly because of this. But we've never been on like newsstands as a publication, despite being, you know, the biggest video game magazine in the world for a period of time.
You know, we could probably appear in movies, like maybe like in the background of like if there's a scene in front of like a newsstand.
That's happened before, Marcus.
Oh, well, it can happen again, I guess.
It can happen again.
Yeah, we got like Spider-Man, Brand New Day, the next Spider-Man movie. Maybe there's a scene where Peter's in New York and he's like looking at the Daily Bugle at a stand, and then maybe in the background you see the faintest hints of a Game Informer magazine. We can make
put
that
the
happen.
Spider-Man issue. We'll break the canon apart.
I mean, Morbius did it in that one trailer where they had the Spider-Man graffiti that wound up not being in the movie or being referenced in any way whatsoever.
Actually, you know, this is an important aside, but like if there could be a Spider-Man video game in the MCU, like he's a public figure that children admire, like that wouldn't be that weird, right?
It's kind of like doesn't in the Fantastic Four First Steps, isn't there like a Fantastic Four cartoon like in universe?
I haven't watched that movie. I'll have to take your word on this.
Okay, you should go see it. It's good. Good movie.
Yeah. I'm good.
Do you not like the Fantastic Four?
I don't have any affection for the Fantastic Four. Honestly, maybe a background Disney Plus movie in the coming weeks. You know, I'm on Christmas break, holiday break. I'm like, you know, maybe playing something on my Switch. Maybe I throw Fantastic Four up on the TV and watch 60% of it.
I mean, they are the key to phase 5, 6. What are we in now? 5?
I think that explains it all right there, Marcus.
Listen, phase 4 threw me off. This phase 4 threw me off so much. But they are the key to the current phase, according to Marvel. They are the focal point. They are the epicenter of whatever's going to happen. Avengers Doomsday. It's going to be about them. You know, Doctor Doom and all that stuff. So
I know I'm being dismissive. I actually do want to watch it. It's fun, right? It's a fun superhero movie. It's
Pedro Pascal. Come on.
I heard of him.
Speaking of things that are fun and also involve space, actually, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's out this week. It is out now at the time you're listening to this. You can finally, after... so this game was first announced in 2017. I think it was the Switch 2 like reveal, wasn't it? Or it was not too far after that?
No. It was definitely a Switch 1 game for sure.
Or Switch 1. I'm sorry. I meant to say Switch 1. 2017, the Switch 1 reveal. Sorry, I got this. Yes, but it was the Switch 1 reveal that we got first.
It was just to clarify, because like the Switch was launched in March, and then E3 of that year they shared a Metroid Prime logo.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I knew it would launch the year of launch for the Switch.
Yes.
When they first told us.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, which is also, I think, the same year that Bayonetta 3 was teased, and that also took forever. And I think there was a time when both of those games were sort of lost in the wind. I think I would ask people like, what do you think we get first, Bayonetta or Metroid? And I kind of put my money on Metroid a bit.
Oh, really?
Maybe because it was Nintendo internally making it. I was like, they'll push it out the door. Like, they'll get that done.
It never was. It was like pulling teeth, but we did finally get Nintendo to admit that Bandai Namco was making it. I remember.
It was like Cyber Connect. Originally, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe. I know it was Bandai Namco, but I don't know if it was like a sub Bandai Namco company. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have called on when you were taking those bets of like Bayonetta versus Metroid. You never would have called the idea that they would just like start from scratch a few years into development, like start over with retro, you know? But it's here. It's been 18 years since Metroid Prime 3. Which is
2007.
Which is crazy. Yeah, that is so wild. But it's my headline for the review is worth the wait because it is good. It is a great entry in the Metroid Prime series. It is not like it's not this like crazy innovative entry. It doesn't like rethink the things that have been working since the first Metroid Prime. It's just a really solid continuation of that series. Like it Retro, the developer, like they made those 3 games, Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, and then like this feels like they haven't really, you know, lost their sort of rhythm, if that makes sense, right? Like it doesn't feel like they forgot how to make a Metroid game.
It seems like, based on your review, outside of this kind of like the unique things that this game introduces, this is a good like meat and potatoes Metroid Prime game.
Yeah. I mean, the big change, I guess, is like the motorcycle. And what that really amounts to is like the easiest like shorthand is like it is the Ocarina of Time structure, where there's Hyrule Field in the middle and you can ride Epona from the points of interest that you need to get to.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening in Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. You have like your 4 sort of, levels, your 4 areas that you need to like explore in depth and find upgrades and fight a boss and things like that. And then you hop on the motorcycle in the desert in between those areas to ride around. And like there's a couple of things in that desert, like some upgrades and a few little puzzles. But it's not, we're not talking, shrines in Zelda or anything like that,
Sure.
where they're just kind of like, there's just like, I think there's like 4 things to find. Otherwise, it's just a hub area and you're collecting like these green crystals. You're just driving over them with your motorcycle. It's like a perpetual assignment throughout the course of the game is like collect these green crystals and like build this bank over the course of the game, which is one of the things that kind of bugged me a little bit is at the end, you'll hit a point where it'll be like, hey, you need to collect this many green crystals. I know you've been collecting them the whole game, but you're still like a little short. And so like in order to progress, I had to like.
I'm sorry. What do you need these for? To like the progress? Like it's not.
I mean,
there's the progression is tied to it, is it?
No, just like I don't know. I guess maybe it's a spoiler to share it, but it's like
okay.
It is as you collect it, you do get some upgrades for Samus, but then it's also like. It's like you need to collect enough to get the thing you need to go finish the game, the MacGuffin, the item,
Okay.
That like which is so like I hit a point myself where I was like okay, I'm ready to go beat the game, and it was like no, wait, hold on, you got to go drive around a little bit and collect more green crystals before we can let you do that. Which was like it didn't take a long time or anything, but I was a little annoyed by it. I didn't love that. And then I actually immediately restarted the game on hard after I beat it, for reasons that I'll explain shortly. But like I when I was doing that second playthrough, I've been very methodical about like, well, let me make sure I'm collecting as much green crystals as possible as I'm like ping-ponging between the 4 levels, just so I don't hit that sort of speed bump again by the end of the game.
Yeah. Going with your analogy to or your comparison to Ocarina of Time, did you form an emotional bond with your motorcycle the way you do with Epona at all?
No, I mean, not maybe, I guess that's I hadn't really considered this question.
Maybe.
I mean, it's cool, I haven't felt the desire to buy the amiibo.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Like maybe that's the sort of the line where I'm like, do I love this thing enough to get that? It's like, no, it's cool though. It's fun to drive. It like it's fun, but no, it's not like an emotional attachment kind of thing. It is kind of fun that the coolest level in the game for me is like the first area you go to is like this floating like factory in the clouds, and it's just like being sort of hit by this like never-ending lightning storm, and that's what powers the factory. And the factory is building these motorcycles, and so like you actually are like the process of like.
I'm sorry, I have so many questions. You just say Sky Factory making motorcycles. Are there like people making these? Or is it like a factory? Is it autonomous?
It's an autonomous factory that has like over time sort of turned off, and Samus needs to sort of reignite it. Like that's your first mission, is to like get the factory up and running again so that you can get your motorcycle.
This might be getting into spoilers. I need to, like, who are these motorcycles for? Like, are there people waiting to get them? Or like,
So you're not helping the Chozo in this one. You're helping a race called the Lemorn, which is like a extinct race of ancient aliens, which is remarkably similar to the Chozo. And the idea is that they would use these motorcycles to travel, like so around the Lemorn.
A race of just like bikers, just biker enthusiasts, alien bikers.
It's like if you can imagine, like, when humans die off in the next, I don't know, what do you think, like 10, 15 years or something? Yeah, something the like rate that. We're going. And it's like in 1,000 years, an alien showed up and like turned on a Harley Davidson factory. It's basically the plot of Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, those are running in perpetuity. Like they figured it out.
It's just AI now making out motorcycles.
Yeah.
But that level's really cool. And I mean, the motorcycle is like maybe the biggest like change. It's like the most unique thing for Metroid. But it's like I do like it because Metroid, to my memory, I could be wrong about this. I don't think it ever has fast travel. I think I could be wrong about that.
It's, uh, um, yeah, I actually can't. I don't know why. I played like
Yeah,
every Metroid game, and
same.
I feel like no. Maybe I just have my memory. I just remember the save room, but I can't remember if you fast travel. I'm probably conflating it with the elevators that are in Prime games
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah,
like if you because like there can be a frustration with Metroid games, where it's like, okay, I need to get to the southeast to get
right.
that like one missile that I missed, which means I have to go through like 4 different or like, you know, sections, right? I have
Like
to go
different
back to the
biomes,
lava
you gotta.
section, and I have to go back through the sort of underwater section or whatever. Where
Yeah,
this sort of separates those areas and then connects them with the motorcycle hub, which is nice. Like, I do like that. It means you're spending less time like reworking your way through a maze to get to just that one thing. It's like, oh, let me leave the lightning storm factory, get on my motorcycle and head to the east side of town, and then I can go into the lava area and go finish up what I need to there. Like, I think that's a smart choice. Even if it doesn't radically change the feeling of Metroid, I think it does make it a little more convenient and less annoying when you're just trying to get that last missile upgrade or whatever.
yeah. What did you think of the psychic power stuff? Was that
It's cool. It's again kind of like it doesn't radically change Metroid in a big way. It all the sort of psychic powers are sort of like wrapped in with Samus's regular powers, which is a smart call because then it means you're not like switching a lot or like you never have to change guns or anything. But like you have that one ability that lets you like remote control like a missile, you know? And that's like the one that's maybe the most unique to Metroid. It's certainly not unique to video games, but it's unique to Metroid. And it's cool. Like you use it to solve puzzles sometimes, and there's like a couple of bosses where it's like you need to sort of hit them at 3 points at the same time. And like that kind of stuff is cool, but like a lot of my sort of refrain with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is like really good, but not doesn't feel like it's trying to do a lot new. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is like it doesn't feel like a revelation for Metroid Prime. And that's the psychic powers kind of feel that way too. It's like cool, works. I've done this in other games. It works really well here. But it fits into the sort of Metroid Prime sort of gameplay style that we've come to appreciate.
cool? Would it be something that if they do Metroid Prime 5 and they didn't have it, would you miss them?
No, honestly, no. I like it. I would, but that's not to say. I mean, that's not to say I didn't like them. It's just
Sure.
to say that
Yeah.
like it didn't feel like oh, well, I'll never be able to play Metroid without this.
Sure.
You
Like
know?
it's not like it's cool, but it's not some meaningful. Like when I think of
No.
like if they do another side-scrolling Prince of Persia, it's like, well, I hope we have the photo taking mechanic. That should
Yeah.
always be there now.
Yeah, like
It's not
nothing.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like even a follow up. Like if we lost like the motorcycle, I wouldn't feel like it lost a portion of its new identity, if that makes sense. Like I would like the motorcycle to return in a
I
potential.
think the
sequel.
motorcycle should just be Samus's Epona going for it. It's her.
Yeah.
Maybe give it a voice at some point and have like some conversation. Like give it like a sassy like motorcycle personality.
Oh, God, yeah,
which
that's what we need in Metroid.
Well, I mean that brings
sassy
me to my
character.
next question. There is
Yeah.
of course a talkative human companion shaped elephant in the room
Yeah.
regarding a certain Miles McKenzie, who, according to the internet, is your sort of companion who is, I believe, the worst thing that has ever happened to Metroid, based on what
Video games
the
in general.
reactions online. Yeah, video game actually. Miles McKenzie has killed video games. Nintendo is
Yeah.
going under because of this new character that Samus is interacting with. I want you to set the record straight, at least in your personal opinion, now that
Yeah.
you finished the game. How much of an impact does this character actually have? How often are you hanging out with this person? And did you feel that Miles detracted from the experience in any significant way?
No, Miles is totally fine. I completely understand the hesitancy that came out of like that preview event, that recent preview event, where people are like, "Oh no, who's this guy? Like, is he going to be here the whole time?"
Yeah, because I
you-
agree with the takes of like I like
Yeah.
Metroid to be lonely and it's sort of like you're on your own mostly,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah, and like so I understand that fear, but like great, thankfully, in the game, in the proper game, he's fine. because what he is like you meet him early. He is obnoxious. He is doing a lot. He is like saying a lot of sort of just like benign nonsense that like you are like really just doesn't feel very Metroid-y.
Yeah, can
but
you give an example? I have not seen the trailer that I think kind of features him. I've only read from just previews, but I've not gone on my way to like seek this guy out. So I actually don't know what he sounds like. Like, does he have like is his voice is he like a gosh, I'm Samus, or is he like what is his like brand of annoying?
He is he's just kind of like an excitable guy. Like he's
so
just
not like nervous, like
yes.
I'm scared of everything.
He is scared of everything. He's kind of like, in this sort of little band of soldiers that you meet during the course of Metroid Prime. He is like the greenest and is like nervous about the situation he is in.
He's like, this is my first day.
Yeah, yes, kind of. And he is capable and he's like really sort of excited to be able to like meet and work with Samus. And like he just will comment on things like just kind of unnecessarily. Like it's kind of charming, but also kind of annoying. Where it's like I scanned him, and he was like, and he's like, "Whoa, did you just scan me?" Which is like I appreciate that like they took the time to like have a response to players doing that, but it's kind of
that is an invasion of privacy when you think about it.
right. But I mean, he kind of serves as an early tutorial. And then you have a home base that you revisit periodically to sort of like turn in chips to get upgrades and stuff like that. And he just hangs out there. He doesn't really call you. You can call him, and I did occasionally when I wasn't quite sure where to go next, which is convenient. It's nice to have in a Metroid game a character you can call to be like, hey, I forgot where I'm supposed to go. Like, and he'll be like, hey. He's like, you should check out that volcano. That volcano over there in the southeast. That might be worth checking out. So that's helpful when you don't want to just like go to every area and hope you eventually find the one that has like the entrance. But overall, he's fine. He doesn't interject much. He's there early on, and you're a little nervous about him being there. But like almost in the same way, I'm like to sort of role play Samus. You're kind of like. You're like, oh God, am I going to have to put up with this guy for the rest of this adventure? And then you're kind of like, you know what? Why don't you stay here at home base, and I'll let you know if I need anything. And that's basically it. So like ultimately, those fears, which I understand having those fears, are not, they don't amount to anything. Miles is a little annoying in the sort of 15, 20 minutes you spend with him, but overall he doesn't show up otherwise very much.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, like I said, I think the fears around him were valid, especially if you're like most Metroid fans. Like you don't want to like even Prime 3, which I like Prime 3, even though I've never finished it. But like the amount of talkative characters in that game kind of threw me off too. Of like, wow, there's because Prime 1 and 2 are generally, like I said, pretty lonely experiences. So I was kind of wondering like, oh, maybe they got the wrong idea about from Prime 3 if we need to like surround Samus with a bunch of chatterboxes. But it sounds like
they talk, but it's not chatterboxes is when they are not that,
Yeah. And Samus doesn't talk still, I assume either.
No, which at this point in this game, I do think it's a little it has now become odd. Like I find it kind of sort of unintentionally funny in a way that I think hurts the sort of tone of the game, how often characters speak directly to her, and she does, and she just stares ahead blankly. Like she will sometimes subtly nod her head, like just giving the slightest little like, but that's like it. And then she'll sort of yelp sometimes when she gets hit by a rocket launcher or whatever.
Right.
But I'm at a place now, like I know Nintendo is probably scared to ever give her a voice after Other M. People really did not like Other M when she had a lot to say, arguably too much, inarguably too much perhaps. But I would like a Samus that talks. I just like just the occasional sentence or confirmation. Just I like because at this in 4 it just feels kind of weird. Like it just feels like it's different with like Zelda, for example, where Link doesn't talk because outside of like cutscenes, which generally don't really feature Link very much, like it's all text based. So something about that like doesn't feel so strange that Link doesn't talk because like you're reading sort of conversationally everything. But when like you have cutscenes where characters talk at Samus and she just looks ahead and doesn't say anything, even though she like it would be helpful if you said something here, Samus. Like that is getting a little comedic at this point. So like I would really like her to just talk even a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I want like monologues out of her,
No,
but sort
I
of the like just have her be sort of like she keeps her words short. Like she doesn't talk all the time, but when she does speak, it's like impactful. And also it would just kind of fit her character, what I've always kind of perceived as her character as just being a very direct person, does not waste words. Like she says exactly what needs to be said. So she'll just be like, I'm going to go kill this thing. And that's all you need to know. I'm not going to really elaborate more than that. Or just be like affirmative or understood when someone tells her something.
And it can be like Metroid Dread, I think, did it the best, where Samus does talk a little bit. At the end of the game, she has like a few lines of dialogue where she's speaking Chozo, which is really cool in that game because it's like she doesn't speak the whole game, and then you have that moment where she's like, I do have a voice, by the way. I do have some autonomy here. You know, and it's like I would have appreciated something like that in Prime 4. It's like I don't like her being wholly silent, but there's certainly a middle ground between Other M, you know. And by middle ground I mean you know, way east of center that's like not, you know, on the side of silence, like, but I would just love for her to be like, I'll take care of it, or, you know, something, you know what I mean? Like just like but anyway, she doesn't talk, so what are you gonna do?
Samus needs a catchphrase. That's what she really needs. Like she needs a classic saying where when she's about to start a mission, she's like, "It's time to."
My name isn't Metroid.
You think I'm some kind of Metroid? But I guess if you play Dread, maybe that's not. Well, never mind. Anyways, yes. Any other thoughts you want to share about Metroid Prime 4? It seems like, or like, where do you kind of place it in the series? I know you told me you've never played Prime 2.
Yeah, right? I haven't played 2. Keep holding out for that Switch release of Prime 2. We'll see if it ever happens.
Yeah, Switch 3, maybe we'll get it. But sort of, I guess, out of the Prime games you've played, where do you rank this? Like, do you pretty high? You think it's better than the original? Where are you at?
That's a good question. It probably doesn't outdo the original. I do like it more than 3. And also I was telling you recently, like I do prefer 2D Metroid in general. Like that is like, if I'm making my full list, I'm probably gonna Dread is gonna be number 1 for me, I think still. I think Metroid Dread is still my favorite Metroid game. And then I get into the Super Metroid and probably Fusion. And then maybe like Metroid Prime and then Metroid Prime 4. I mean, you know, I haven't really thought about this extensively, but just to kind of give you an idea of like, you know, where I'm at in terms of like Metroid fandom. I like 4 a lot. But it didn't become like my favorite Metroid game right away, which happens sometimes with new releases, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
It does make me wish that, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I would love a Prime version of like the Dread concept of, like, it's Prime, but you're being pursued by this enemy that's like nigh invincible, like the enemies, I think they were called in Dread.
Yeah.
Because I was like, in first person, that would actually be terrifying. Of like, you're just going around and you open a door and there's just an enemy on the other side suddenly. You have to run from it.
Yeah, kind of like
like Resident Evil a little bit, like a persistent enemy. Yeah.
One last thing I want to call out, which is almost like a warning, and it's sort of a big frustration for me with Metroid Prime 4. Is I love in Metroid games and Metroid inspired games, Metroidvanias, if you will, or search action games, is that like I like to go get like majority of the sort of available items and things like that and go beat the game and then go back and mop up everything, go get that 100%. Like that's actually sometimes my favorite sort of version of the game, because like you have the majority of your skills, you're just going off through a checklist and you're sort of like revisiting all these parts of the game that you have fond memories of. Where in Metroid Prime 4 there is a warning of a point of no return. Like there is like, hey, heads up, like you're heading into the end game here. But what happens is when you beat the game, you are essentially locked out of your save at that point. You cannot go back into the open world and mop things up. So like either when you get that alert of like, hey, heads up, you're heading into the end game, like you either that's when you go and get everything if that's what you want to do, or you make a backup save, right? Like and like it doesn't like it doesn't encourage you to make a backup save or anything. It just says like, hey, just heads up, we're heading into the end game here. Like you won't, you know, just know that. Right? I don't remember exactly what it says, but so I was quite annoyed by that. Like I really wanted to beat the game and then go back and get 100%, but I couldn't. It didn't let you. It doesn't let you do that. That's not the structure of Metroid Prime 4. So that's actually I sort of alluded to it earlier, but that's why I immediately started a new game because you unlock hard once you beat it on normal once. So like I started a hard difficulty playthrough, and now with that knowledge, I'm knowing that it's like, well, this is the save file I want to get 100% on, so I won't go beat the game until I'm done. So I'm just like offering that as a warning to people who maybe play Metroid games in that way, in the way I do, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I swear I don't, dude. I don't even know. Do Metroids normally let you do that? Like just jump back in and leave it?
Maybe
I
I'm
never
wrong.
replay
I mean,
games, but
certainly other Metroid inspired games do that because that's how I play a lot of them, you know? Like
sure.
I feel like maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like in Dread, I went and beat the game and then, like, you know, went back into my save, which just like puts you back before the final boss or something and then lets you sort of go off and get everything. I feel like that's how I played Dread, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But I know other games certainly do, you know?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't really replay games, so when I beat a Metroid, I'm done. Like I usually make a point to try to do as much stuff beforehand.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of
But
just this genre is where
sure.
I do that. Well, I don't know. That's not true actually. Like open world, like I've been going for the platinum in Ghost of Yotei, and that's a game where you beat it, and then it gives there's like a narrative conceit kind of for like why it goes back before the point of no return and lets you finish everything in Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah, Claire Obscure is the same way actually. You can kind of
exactly.
You can beat the game and then just reload right before the final thing.
It's to me it feels like a pretty standard sort of mechanics
video game thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but not for
yeah.
Metroid Prime 4. So heads up if you're playing it.
No, well, it was in development before they invented that mechanic. It's been so long.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
but yeah, Metroid Prime 4. You gave it, I think, did you say the score?
8.75.
8.75 out of 10. Good score. I'm excited to play it this week. It's going to be my playing games. I'm traveling to LA next week for the Game Awards and other stuff.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to spending the long flight across the country.
If you see Marcus at the TGAs, demand a selfie so that we can grow our GI Spy library.
Yes. Much like Kojima scanning celebrities, we collect GI Spy photos.
Exactly.
We are putting you in something, so it is similar. It's basically the same
Exactly.
thing as what we're saying. We need a Lumen
Yeah.
statue of our own. We should have that.
You just carry it with you. Yeah.
Yes. But yes, moving on to a game that I reviewed now. I played and finished Marvel Cosmic Invasion. This is the new retro style beat 'em up developed by Tribute Games, best known for their last really good retro beat 'em up, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. They are also working on next year's Scott Pilgrim EX. So they have kind of, for me as a beat 'em up fan, a lifetime beat 'em up fan, they kind of emerged as sort of like the premier developer of doing like really good modernized versions of sort of the old school style of that genre. And yeah, they have knocked it out of the park here too. This is like I said, it's a Marvel game, but it's got a cool sort of like premise where Annihilus is trying to take over the galaxy. Probably like a lesser known villain outside of like hardcore comic fans, Annihilus.
I'd never heard of it until this game. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's a more kind of like as the name implies, a cosmic villain, the roster of playable heroes includes probably like roughly half of sort of the Earth-based heroes and then half of sort of like the cosmic side of Marvel. So you've got your Captain Americas, your Iron Mans, your Spider-Mans teaming up with Silver Surfer and Nova and Phyla-Vell. And as a comic book reader, one of the things I really like about this game is how diverse the roster is, because you have that combination of sort of the two sort of like types of Marvel heroes, as well as just like a nice like nice representation from heroes that don't really appear in Marvel games, really. Like
Hmm.
Beta Ray Bill, I'm sure he's in some like mobile Marvel thing or something like that.
He's probably got a
Because
card in the card game, probably, right?
probably, but in terms of like the bigger mainline stuff, this has to be, to my knowledge, his first appearance. And he's been in Thor comics since the early '80s when he debuted. And yeah, I was like struggling. I was like, this has to be his first real thing in a game, which is almost sad 'cause I think he's a cool character. I've always kind of liked Beta Ray
He's
Bill.
kind of like a dinosaur alien thing, right?
Kind of, he's like an android too, but he's also like he like co-ops Asgard stuff. He's a weird creature when you
All right.
first look at him. You're like, what is going on there? Why
I'm
does he look
excited to
like
learn about him in this game.
dinosaur? Yeah, it looks like dinosaur Thor, basically. But you got him. You got Cosmic Ghost Rider, who's a more recent thing. Is a like he's the Punisher. Like it's just the Punisher with the spirit of vengeance and also cosmic powers. You got like mentioned Phyla-Vell, who is the daughter of Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. So like a She-Hulk. It's like a good roster, especially because so many of those characters could have easily been replaced with their more like well-known counterparts of like, yeah, we could just use Hulk if we wanted a Hulk-like character, but why not do She-Hulk? Because why not? We've already got
I always appreciate that. Go for the obscure, like that's more fun. That's more interesting.
You know what's also fun for She-Hulk specifically is that she breaks the fourth wall a lot in this game, which is something that the character was known for. Like in the comics, she was breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool was.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. And if you watch her Disney Plus show, she does it a lot there too. It's kind of a nod to that. But I kind of appreciated like that attention to detail too, where she's like acknowledging that basically this is a video game. Like she's like you'll find a bunch of Easter eggs and cameos in the worlds and stuff, and she'll straight up say like, "Oh, this is a cool cameo." Like,
That's fun. I like that. I like She-Hulk.
Yeah. The other cool thing about this game, to kind of differentiate itself from most fighters or beat 'em ups, is that it's a tag team game in the sense that you select two characters and you are tagging them in and out in a very Marvel vs. Capcom or like Marvel tag fighter kind of way, which as a fighting game fan, I really appreciate. And I love how like it is straight up like a more simplified version of the tag fighters. You can tag in characters to do assist attacks. Each character has a health bar, so you only get a game over if they both go down. But it is sort of managing the way you would in those fighters. Like, okay, I don't want to maybe put all my eggs in Spider-Man's basket. He's taking a beating. I should probably try to like tag in pretty frequently so that, one character isn't full of health and the other one's like hanging on by a thread. But there's like tag team kind of synergies that you can kind of figure out because each character also feels mechanically distinct from each other in a way that I really appreciate. Like I said, in the way that a fighting game roster does, to where like you will find your mains in the same way of like, oh, I really like how Captain America plays, who controls much differently from Phoenix, who controls much differently from Beta Ray Bill or Silver Surfer. Some characters can fly, which is like a cool addition. Like the characters that canonically can fly in the comics, you can double jump and just straight up fly indefinitely throughout a stage, which is really great
cool.
for dealing with the flying enemies, which have always been historically just annoying to deal with in beat 'em ups because you just have to try to you're just trying to jump kick and hit them desperately, and it never feels like you nail it on purpose. It kind of feels like you get lucky because it's always hard to tell what plane they're on when they're flying, like if you're on the same plane as them. So just being able to be like, no, I'm Storm, I'm just gonna fly up there and punch you in the face. Like it's really satisfying. But yeah, it also makes the game a lot more fun to play by yourself because like this is still not a game that I would recommend playing alone. It's not a genre that I would ever recommend playing alone. These games are designed to be played with other people, at least one other person with you. But at least because of how kind of like the mechanics are much deeper, like playing by yourself kind of helps you figure out who is your main, basically. Like who do you gravitate to, and kind of figure out the nuances of each character, because every character has like their basic attack, but they have like a launcher because you can air juggle people like no tomorrow in this game. They all have different special attacks. Some of the special attacks are like have limited used to them, like Spider-Man's web shooters. You can only shoot like 10 at a time before you have to wait for them to recharge, or like Iron Man's repulsor blast. And then they all have like an ultimate attack that's sort of dictated on a cooldown, which is really nice because like a lot of old school beat 'em ups, when you use your special attack, it would like take a chunk of your health and kind of punish you for using it. Usually because it was an arcade game and they wanted you to spend more money.
Pump those quarters.
Whereas in this game, it's just a cooldown, which is like infinitely better, and then also kind of challenges you to kind of time your attacks in a more thoughtful way and not in a I don't have enough money to use this attack way. The enemies are also like, you can get through this game by just kind of button mashing wildly to an extent, but I think the enemies also defend themselves well enough to where you do have to have some kind of thought to how you attack them. Especially because you can also have like a decent amount of defensive options where you can dodge, you can block, you can parry depending on the character. Like some characters straight up just have a parry maneuver, feels good. Captain America probably being the most obvious one because of his shield. And then some of the boss fights, I think the boss fights can actually be pretty tough. They do kind of push you to play a little smartly. Like I think of like one of the early bosses is Taskmaster, and it's a lot more of a tactical fight against him because he blocks so often with his shield that you kind of have to pick your spots with him and then try to position behind him. And if you're fighting him by himself, like I fought him alone the first time I ran through the game with Captain America, and it became this very kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna wait for him to attack and then parry and then kind of get my licks in, and then but when he's blocking, I kind of either try to get behind him or just wait for him to stop blocking and come at me, and he's gonna throw his shield, and you can like knock his shield away on the rebound so that he has to go and get it, and then you can kind of wail on him while he's doing that. Like the bosses have a lot of like a surprising amount of nuance to them outside of just punch them until they die.
That's cool.
So
yeah, sometimes I got kind of exhausted by that gameplay, so it's nice to hear that you have to do a little more here.
Yeah, the bosses, I won't spoil, all of them, but there's nice diversity there. It's like a mix of sort of like big sort of main event guys, and then some like fun deep cuts in the same way that the hero roster is. Of like, oh, I don't know if this villain's ever been in a big game before. This is a cool addition. And then there's some where you're like, oh wow, you're an A+ Marvel villain, and you're just one of the villains on the way towards a nihilist. Like you could probably be the star of your own game. This is kind of a cool surprise. Right. And then also there's like a character progression that I like too, that you don't see in a genre where like characters can level up. And like the more you play with a character, the more you'll level up and earn like new upgrades. Like they can get increased attack damage, increased health, they can get passive perks. And it's sort of like, again, going back to the fighting game analogy, it sort of rewards you for like, if you find someone that you're really gelling with, you can make them better. And then it's kind of cool to sort of bring a leveled up character into like another player's game. And they'll be like, oh, I've got like a powered up Iron Man I can use to help you with this boss. But also it makes the sort of like the sting of defeat a little less frustrating, because this game does a thing where when you lose, you have to restart the stage from scratch, which can be annoying. Thankfully, the stages take like at most 10 minutes to get through, if even that. But it's still like, oh, I gotta run through all this stuff because I got to this hard boss and he keeps killing me. But at least every time you die, you still earn XP and level up. So when you redo that run again, you are coming in with a stronger version of the characters that you did the first time. So you're always still improving. And it feels like, again, whereas the old arcade brawlers actively were trying to take your money, this game like wants you to succeed and get through it. So it's like, hey, you hit harder, at least on this run. So hopefully maybe that'll put you over the edge this time around. Which is cool.
That.
There's also there's also like challenges, like stage challenges. You can like that kind of help teach you moves too, because it'll be like, hey, do this specific attack 10 times. And there were times where I didn't even realize I could do those attacks until I looked at the challenges of like, wait, what is this move that they want me to do with Ghost Rider? Okay. And then you go like, oh, that's a good move, I'm gonna keep doing it now. And then because I had to do it several times in a row, it's like, okay, I've got it drilled into my memory now how to do this move. That's good. And then you get rewards for getting that. You can unlock like character like skins, which are like palette swaps, but a lot of them are just kind of like cool sort of like costume homages to like other comics. Like you can get Wolverine's classic blue and yellow outfit. You can get like different Spider-Man suits, like the black suit and stuff like
Wait,
that.
Wolverine's a baseline outfit isn't the blue and yellow one?
No, it's the brown and yellow one, which is kind of his like
Oh,
his
okay.
other like kind of like mainline color scheme. It's either, depending on the era that you read Wolverine, it's either the brown and the yellow or it's the blue and yellow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think there was actually in Deadpool and Wolverine. I think one of the alternate Wolverines that Deadpool, when he does like the montage where he's visiting the other Wolverines, I think one of them is the brown and yellow. I think it's the one that fights the Hulk, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's like the one time you see it in like a movie. But yeah, those are fun rewards. You're unlocking character files, though I recommend, because I was talking to Brian about this, where if you're unlocking the character files, maybe wait till you finish a game, because he's like, oh, I had some of the bosses spoiled for me because I unlocked their file before I got to this. So it's just like, oh, I guess this person's in the game because they have a whole file about them. So maybe when you're unlocking that stuff, maybe just save it till to the end. You don't really need it immediately or anything to look at it. So maybe just fun fact there. But yeah, it's not like an overly deep package. Like there's really just the story campaign, which is fun, and you know, it takes like a decent amount of time to get through. And there's also a cool thing with the story campaign where like each level they'll recommend a specific pairing because canonically these are the characters that are tackling this situation. So like on the character select screen, they'll be like highlighted, and those are the characters that appear in like the sort of the still image cutscenes, and are voiced, like the game's like fully voiced. So they'd be like, oh, Storm and She-Hulk are going to the Savage Land. That's canonically the pairing. But even if you pick other characters, they'll still play the same cutscene. But it's sort of like, you should use these two if you want to just treat it like a purposeful story, I guess. But then there's an arcade mode where you can just run through the game and just do whatever you want, pretty much. Like that's kind of more like if you want to just play with friends and you have all the levels unlocked already, you can do that. But beyond those two modes, that's pretty much it. There isn't like a ton of the game. This isn't a game that maybe once you've leveled up either your chosen characters or all the characters, you're probably not busting out until friends come over and you're like, hey, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like
I imagine it's not very long, right? It's probably not a super long game, right?
No, it's if assuming that nobody dies, and it probably varies depending on how many people you're playing with. If you're playing by yourself, it'll take it a little longer. Some of those boss fights are a little rougher when you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're playing with at least one other person, you can probably knock it out in an hour, 90 minutes at most, if even that. Which is also to say that the co-op is unsurprisingly very fun. You can play up to 4 players, locally or online. The online has a really well implemented drop in, drop out sort of feature where even if you are the host of the game, you can exit the session and the game won't drop. So like if I'm hosting the game and I suddenly have to leave for whatever reason, I can just quit the game and the other players can keep progressing through the adventure and it won't just bring the whole experience down with me. So I like that a lot. So and it's easy to, you can actually quit as the host and then jump back in the same session that you created if you like decide to come back, which is pretty cool. Like I was testing it. But yeah, it's a good brawler. Like it's a very good one of these. It's not necessarily like shattering the mold, but it's like a cool twist on a very like well-worn formula. Like I think if you're into this genre, and especially if you enjoyed like Shredder's Revenge specifically by this team, I think you'll have a great time with this. I had a blast as a comic fan, as a fan of this of beat 'em ups, and yeah, it's something I'll definitely like. It's one of those games that will always be installed on my PlayStation because it's just a fun party game. Like I actually played it 4-player.
It's probably a small file size too, I bet.
No, it downloaded very quickly too, which is nice. But yeah, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 in my review. You can go to GameInformer.com right now to give it a read. And yeah, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have Charles Harte on the show to give his final expanded thoughts on Kirby Air Riders, as well as Detective Instinct. Farewell, my beloved. We'll be right back.
Oh, also, Marcus, before we duck out, look, in the next segment, we're going to make reference to Brian Shea being here. Just ignore that. It was a technical issue. There was no Brian Shea. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what we call Brian Shea, a technical issue. It's his nickname. Yes.
All right.
But yes, we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Game Informer Show. Brian Shea had to exit, but in his place is a fresh Charles Harte. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm the new cast. You recast Brian, but it's me. There's a show. I was like, should I reference this? I want to reference it. There's a show on Disney XD called Pair of Kings about these two twin brothers, and then Mitchell Musso, one of the two twins, got a DUI and then got kicked out of everything Disney Channel. So they brought in a third guy, and they're like, actually, this is the third twin brother, and these are the new Pair of Kings now, and it's all fine, and nothing ever happened. And that's me. I'm the third Pair of Kings.
First of all, so when you started, I thought it was in the canon of the show that the character got a DUI, and I was like, on a Disney show. And also, just so you know, just for Game Informer canon and lore, Charles, we established in the last segment that you were born the year Metroid Prime 3 came out. So just keep that in mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 3?
Yeah. You know what year that was?
I feel like that's way after I came out. No, never mind. That's fine. Yeah, I might as well.
Yeah, don't ask too many follow-up questions. Just know that that's, you and
I'm
Metroid
pretty
Prime
sure
3
Metroid
were born
Prime
the same
3
day.
it does predate Pair of Kings, so that timeline does work out. So we're
There
good.
we go.
We're good.
Also, on the subject of recast, random tangent, but I'm gonna propose something you might agree, but is the recast of Don Cheadle as War Machine from the original actor of Terrence Howard, is that the greatest recast of all time?
Well, hold on. Are we like, and it has to be like they did play the role once, right?
Yeah, like the role was someone else for like a full season or movie, whatever it is, and then they changed actors, and it wound up being like, actually, no, this is much better.
Because I would say probably Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future, but like the version without him didn't come out. They just shot for like a month without him.
Doesn't count.
Right. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to.
Yeah,
think about
I don't know if I can't think of another time it happened that it was like successful, like capital S successful.
Yeah.
There's Fresh Prince, which I was like fine with. I don't know if when they changed the mom in Fresh Prince,
Oh.
where you're like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Aunt Vivian. This is a new Aunt Vivian. She's not like, she's good, but I don't know if it's like miles better. It's just like, oh, she's also fine. But like, I guess if you asked me, I would rather just keep the other actress just because she's not, the new actress isn't dramatically better, you know?
Yeah. This is a good question. I'll have to think about it. At the end of the episode, I'll suddenly shout one, and we'll forget the context.
Yeah, you'll suddenly scream out Kiefer Sutherland in Metal Gear.
No, I would never. Don't put that on me.
Charles, you are here because the last time we talked about Kirby Air Riders, you had just started playing it. And in the times between these episodes, you have finished it. You've posted a full review up on the website. You gave it an 8.5 out of 10. So yes, now you can gush about Kirby Air Riders. Give us your full thoughts on this game.
Yes. Well, first of all, have either of you played it? Just in terms of
No, I don't even have
a little
it.
bit,
Yeah.
just like a couple races.
A little bit.
Yeah. Which I was
Okay.
turned by it. I'm all in on Metroid. We talked a lot about Metroid in the previous segment. I'm still working on my second playthrough, and I think I will spend some time with Kirby after I'm done with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So that's just a framework for how much to explain about the game. So I like Kirby Air Riders a lot. It's a obviously racing game starring Kirby. It is more of a like Smash Bros. Spiritual successor than I expected it to be. I would say is like the main takeaway I had after playing. I mentioned this like after playing a few races, but after doing more of it, it's like kind of amazing how much like Sakurai DNA is in the game, from like the menu style to the music to the visuals to the like constant achievements you get. But it's also not like I wouldn't say, I think last time we were talking about like maybe this would be like my new Mario Kart, like maybe this would phase out because Mario Kart World kind of is a different take on Mario Kart. And it's like if you just want a standard racer, we're just going to play a few races with friends, maybe it's Kirby. I definitely don't think this is the game for that.
Oh, okay.
And I think that I mean it in a complimentary way, but this game is definitely less approachable than Mario Kart. It is less like flexible than I expected it to be.
Wait, less approachable? Even though you only use two buttons?
Yes. Well, so there you only use two buttons. I think that's like a deceptively simple thing about the game, but the context in which you use those buttons changes what it does, right? So in Mario Kart, you never have to guess what the button's going to do or, time a thing perfectly to be like, if I press this button at the wrong time, it's not going to drift like I want it to. There is an element of like strategy there. And yeah, it doesn't, I would say like playing the game, I'm kind of surprised when I think about it that there's only 2 buttons. And it's really only 1 button. The second button only comes up when you use like your ultimate ability, but most of the time it's just the 1 button. But yeah, there's the main reason I would say it's not like super approachable for everybody is that the vehicles are so wildly different in how they impact gameplay. And so what you pick is going to make actually a huge difference on the game for you. And just sitting down and playing a co-op game with people, the character and machine select screen, it doesn't have details about any of the characters or any of the vehicles' abilities. So you kind of have to already know what it is or have like an elevator pitch for your friends to be like, this one doesn't drift. This one just stops and pivots and you have to be ready for that. This one, I can't figure out how to turn on it. I don't really understand the mechanics. I don't like that one. This one turns so well, you won't drift. It won't work. This one presses the drift button, but it doesn't. And there's like a bunch of really unique quirks like that. So when you're playing the game and you know all the information about it, it makes for like a really fun, like strategic kind of gameplay style, or like, I'm going to try this cart and this, like the racers also have different stats and abilities. Marcus, I think if I had to sum it up, the difference between Mario Kart and Kirby Air Riders is that in Mario Kart, there's 5 stats per cart?
Something like that.
Yeah,
and maybe some hidden
speed,
stuff.
Yeah, weight, right?
And like handling. In Kirby Air Riders, every character and cart has 9 stats, 9 quantifiable stats seen on the screen that will mix and match. And that's separate from, those things of like the bulk star has like a gas tank that charges up when you press the drift button. And so if you're not drifting or pressing the boost charge button often enough, it just won't have gas and it won't accelerate at all. Like really cool, fun stuff like that is like awesome, but like I just couldn't sit down and explain it to like a party setting group of people.
Yeah, that's Sneaky Sakurai making people think this is a little baby racer.
I mean, it is also that thing, like even just playing it a little bit, which I've been kind of charmed by it and I want to play more, but like it's hard to put a racing game on a Nintendo console in front of somebody and be like, okay, so heads up, the way this game works is the only button makes you brake. And it's like it's just weird. It's hard to wrap your head around the idea of a racing game where like you're actually not pressing an accelerate button or really.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
kind of like being the instructor for like a student driver where you just have your own brake.
Yeah,
that's kind of. You're just there to brake every now and then.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it makes more sense when you're actually playing it. Yeah. And like I played like 2 or 3 races with my fiance and she was immediately like, I'm not. She was so excited she could play as Gooey and be on something called like the Slick Star and just like those fun kinds of things. Just like, oh, I never knew this Kirby enemy had a name. There's so many playable characters in this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which Kirby enemy is Gooey?
He's a blue gooey ball with a long tongue, obviously.
Yeah,
we all know.
Ball with a long tongue. Come on, Marcus.
We all know and love Gooey.
We all know Gluey? What's the Gooey? That couldn't have been
Bluey,
more perfect.
The Australian blue healer. No, the Gooey is blue.
Gooey is blue.
Lolo is blue. Lolo and La La La. Obviously, that's 2 characters. That's one I just select just because I like hearing the announcer say it.
I think so. You're not supposed to be able to say it,
Right. What's the reference, Kyle?
The La La Lulelo.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember what that is, but for some reason I remember.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Something about vocal cords. It shouldn't be able to be spoken or something. I don't know.
That's the code word in Metal Gear Solid 3, I want to say. Okay. Anyways.
Let's go.
That's in the game. A bunch of crazy stuff. There's like 20-something racers in the game, which is like, if we had to sit here and collectively name 20-something Kirby characters, we couldn't do it. We would fail.
But if you tried, Charles, could you do it?
After playing this game, yes.
Here, I got
Before playing this game,
Kirby.
I could...
Blue Kirby. Green Kirby.
Well,
and I'm already out.
I was like Meta Knight, DDD, Waddle Dee, Gooey, I guess. Know him.
Game Boy box art, inexplicably gray Kirby.
It's got to be the name. You got to.
Isn't there a Mount Rick? Isn't there a Rick?
There is a Rick.
He looks like
Rick the
Hamtaro.
hamster.
Tree. Tree guy that you fight.
Oh
in
yeah,
every
the happy
Kirby
tree.
game.
Is he a racer?
Yeah.
He's not playable, but he does appear in the game.
Oh.
Paintbrush girl from the 64 game.
What's the little pink thing with legs? That it's not
That's
Kirby.
Kirby.
But it looks like
That
Kirby.
is Kirby. He's a pink
no,
thing with legs.
it's like Kirby with less features.
That's just a nightmare you have.
Am I thinking of a different game? I don't know. But
Maybe
You're thinking of that
Jigglypuff?
giant weather
I don't
balloon
know
from
what you're
that
thinking.
old TV show, The Prisoner, I think is what you're
oh,
thinking.
yeah, thank you. I was thinking about the water balloon that kid was strapped in one time in the 2000s
That's right,
that set the nation on fire. Timely reference.
Just
we
like The
stalled out at
Prisoner,
7,
a
I guess.
1960s BBC science fiction show.
We got to 7 Kirby characters and then jumped to the prisoner. That's how productive this name as many Kirby characters as you can thing was going.
Yeah, that's like a third of them, right?
Yeah, sure. Anyways, so the game itself, there's Air Ride, which is kind of what we're talking about. It's like a pretty typical racer. Also the visuals in the game, like it's really pretty and also can get like really intense and like you'll be going through. You know, there's one where like it starts off and you're like flying through a space station and it kind of turns into like the Death Star run where like you leave and then the race course explodes in the space behind you and you got to land and all these falling stars come and they make boost spots.
Is
like,
there an
it's a very
energy
cinematic
ring
game
that comes out of this explosion?
I don't think so, but there should be because that's like iconic, you know.
Okay, they got to release a special edition, I guess.
They got yeah.
An ultimate,
yeah,
if you
30
will.
years. Yeah, and then so that's like the base race. Then there's Top Ride, which is like a top-down version with even more simplified controls than the normal game, which is something I kind of like wrote off at first, except there's a lot of achievements in this game and they're all mode specific and they all get their own like board of like little grid squares and you fill them off by like finishing a race on this course, finishing as this character, using this item 3 times, and there's like so many hyper specific achievements you can get and they're all mode specific. So I was like, oh, if I want more characters, there's like 150 achievements for just playing Top Ride a little bit. So I'm just gonna check that out. And I like it. Like races are done in like a minute. It's very quick, but it's a fun way to like really distill down the core elements of the game and get really used to something about zooming it out and putting it top down helps you kind of understand how some of the carts handle a little bit better. Like you can see the arc of the turn. That's especially helped me with like some of the like bike type vehicles. Then there's City Trial, which is a mode that a lot of people really love from the original Air Ride that I'm not crazy about. I think people love it because it's very unique to that, where you basically are dropped in a big map. You ride around for 5 minutes, 5 full minutes, just like smashing boxes and picking up little individual stat upgrades. And at the end of it, you see which stat has the most of whatever. And so you just know what your stats are. And you can't really specialize in a thing. Like you couldn't be like, oh, I want to collect a lot of wing stuff. Like you're just kind of driving around really fast. It's hard to be
You just get what
picky
you get.
about what you're getting.
Right.
Yeah, you just want to get as much as you can. And then you vote on like a little challenge to do. So for example, if you have a lot of attack, you might be like, oh, let's do like offensive versus mode where we try to like hit each other and knock each other off the machines, versus like if you have really good flight, you might want to do like a target practice mode because you have that. Even then, I played with Alyssa, my fiance, and I picked the target practice mode, and I had really good flight, and she was on a cart that just could not fly, and she ended up beating me because on the lowest level, there, like, you go off a ramp, and then she just fell straight down, but there's still some options on that bottom level, and she hit a 50 twice, and I missed the 100 one time, and it was just, she ended up winning. So you never know, you can always come back.
Just
And which
kind of
character
weird
was she
balance.
using?
Just make up a name, Charles. We'll believe you.
I think she was Waddle Dee,
Okay, I know that one.
but I'm not 100% sure. This was, yeah, I got really excited. It's in my review. I got really excited when I finally unlocked Waddle Doo, because I was like, that's like one of the guys, you know, Waddle Doo. There's Waddle Dee and Bandana Waddle Dee. I already had both of those, but I needed Waddle Doo specifically.
Yeah. Keystone of the series.
Keystone of the series. And then the final thing is there's a solo single player mode called Road Trip, which is really interesting. It's like a kind of a, I want to use the word RPG because you are leveling up your stats, and that's kind of how I define RPGs. If you have stats and they increase when you level up, but it's like a story mode, and in very Kirby fashion, Kirby is like riding along on like a star, and it has like a smiley face on it, and he's like making all these cute sounds, and then it cuts away to like the depths of space, and it's like, this rock has never known what it is like to have its own free will, and it sat on this planet for millennia, never moving and never having the will to live, until one day it was detected by an ancient, and then like by the end you're like fighting a world-ending robot. Spoilers, I guess, but not really spoilers because you have no context for what that means. And it's fun. It took me 2 hours to beat, so it's not like particularly time intensive, but it felt like a lot longer because you're doing 10 like worlds, and each world has like these rapid fire little mini games, kind of like this. So sometimes it's the stadium things that you do at the end of City Trial. So it might be like fighting someone or target practice or diving down something or just like a normal race. And you do like 10 of those, and they're pretty quick, but like by the end of the thing, I had played like 100 rounds of mini games. And even though that doesn't take that long, it took me like 4 or 5 sessions to get through that, and then like going back to the normal modes because it's just very overwhelming. But that's like cool. Like it's cool to unlock the carts over time, so you can switch to the one that like best fits the challenge. And it's fun to be like, oh, I'm going to spend my money on this upgrade because I don't have enough flight and I want to get better at that, or XYZ. So
awesome. Well, now that you've finished, and I think I might have asked you this when you talked about the game the first time, but now that you've got a complete picture of it, where do you think it stands in the sort of like the trinity of kart racers with Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds this year?
So I haven't played Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
Oh, okay.
My understanding of it is that it's pretty much like, and correct me if I'm wrong, kind of like this is just what people want from a kart racer. Like it just kind of feels good and hits all the notes that you're
kind of classic.
Looking for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it does its own unique thing with like the track switching sort of a mechanic, which is really cool. But yeah, other than that, it is actually, compared to Mario Kart World, which was, took some swings. It is very sort of like meat and potatoes kart racer.
Yeah. I would say Kirby is like the most acquired taste out of the three, and
That's a good way
just
to put
in a
it.
weird way, I would recommend it to the fewest amount of people, but the people that like it, it's going to be like their favorite far and away. Like it just is a different kind of game that is like, it takes some to get everything you want to get out of it. You just have to invest yourself into it, and it really rewards you for doing that. There's just a bonkers amount of like twists on the same gameplay modes, but like you could play this game for probably 60 hours and still have stuff to unlock if you're just like really intense about it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's like a clear winner. And like I said at the top, it's like I don't think that if you were like some of us are remarking. Also, Mario Kart World is a good game. I think we're saying
is a good game, yeah.
we haven't gone back to it in the way we have other Mario Kart games. For me specifically, the way they changed the Grand Prix is kind of like I just kind of get sick of it for whatever reason. But I don't think if you're like, I want like a normal kart racer on a Nintendo console, I don't think Kirby Air Riders is it. For the same reason that if someone's like, can I get into a good fighting game? You wouldn't say like, well, Super Smash Brothers is the best option. Where it's like, if you want like a traditional quote unquote fighting game, that's like a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter or something, and then Smash Bros is like, we're just going to take it in a completely different weird direction. That's how I would describe Kirby Air Riders.
I like Sakurai only makes weird outliers in his chosen genre.
He really does. He really loves a mode. There's a mode similar to it in Smash Bros for 3DS where you're running around and you're picking up little boosts to your stats. And there's also definitely a mode in Kid Icarus Uprising where you're just going around and picking up. He just loves a game where it's like, what if I could increase my stats one by one with little brightly colored images? That would be perfect. And he just kept doing it because he's like, it hasn't failed me yet.
Yeah, he's walking around and he's just picking up garbage and he's just thinking like, man, what if this increased my stats? I want my health raised because I did this. That'd be cool.
What if this increased my stats?
Mm.
I found I walk my dog most days, and there was a gummy worm on the sidewalk.
Mm.
It's like, someone dropped a gummy worm. That's sad. And the next day I came back and the gummy worm was still there, and I was like, whoa, gummy worm's still there. Like, no animals have picked it up. That's wild. Or like no one came to throw it away.
Ants or anything.
And then I think I went on vacation and came back and walked him again, and the gummy worm was still there, but now it was completely clear. Like it was still in its form. It hadn't like melted, but all the color had just somehow been leached out of it, and it was unmoved from its spot on the sidewalk.
How does that even work?
I feel like that would have increased my stats if I had picked that up somehow. Like I left it just long enough to mature.
Apparently, it's
and
not too late. The trend of it just always being there every time you go.
Eventually, it did. This was months ago. Eventually, it did disappear.
Oh damn! I was gonna say this might be like your Excalibur. Like it's waiting for you to pick it up.
I just had to wait. I waited a little bit too long, and now someone else is gonna save the world.
Someone else is king now. Yeah.
Maybe it was a curse. I don't know. Maybe if I touched it, I would have turned into a worm forever.
That's not so bad. I think worms have it pretty good.
That's pretty bad.
No more responsibilities. You don't have to pay bills. You can live underground. That's probably the safest place to be at this point.
A worm with the life experience and consciousness of a human. That sounds like a specific kind of hell.
You'd be like, I want to know what happens next in Pluribus, and I can't watch it.
I was also thinking like my family thinks I'm dead and I'm just a worm.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, Pluribus.
Yeah, Earthworm Jim seems to have it figured out, so you could get a suit and then.
Yeah, but he wasn't human first. He was a worm given intelligence, I believe. I think.
Was that what it was? I think you're right. It's been a while. Yeah, my worm role model, Earthworm Jim. I know there's a lot to choose from. I know, but I think he edges them out. Well, Charles, you have another game to talk about, and let me make sure I get this right. I have it written down. It is Detective Instinct: Farewell, My Beloved. What the heck is this?
Yeah, so this is a game. I learned about it thanks to Hayes Madsen.
Oh,
of Inverse. Posted about this, an article on Inverse, but also like posted on Blue Sky, and then I was like, oh, this is completely up my alley. It is an adventure game with like the style of like it looks like a DS game. So
yeah, I'm looking at it now on
Steam.
Steam.
Phoenix Wright.
1000% Phoenix Wright.
Which is just my Phoenix Wright is like maybe top 3 game series of all time for me. I have been just really waiting for just anything new to happen, but even the newer games, they've gone with more of a 3D aesthetic, and I do kind of miss the old pixely days. So this is like a fun, nostalgic kind of. I bought it purely based on the art style. I'll be honest. I didn't even really look into what the game was.
I can tell this is a flashback in this screenshot because it's drawn in a grayscale sketchbook style.
Yeah,
which is very Phoenix Wright.
And yeah, I mean I've played like an hour so far. I would say the difference is you're playing as a college student on a trip to like a European country, of which I can't remember. It starts with a V. It's maybe like Vedstraka or something like that.
A fake country. Okay.
Fake country. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's a murder that happens, but you're unrelated to it as far as you know. But based on how these games go, I imagine somehow you will be related to it. But I played like an hour of it, and it's interesting because it's at a point where it's not like, hey, you have to solve the murder. It's just like the detective is nearby and he's like, I'm hoping to figure out who did this murder, but oh well, I'll keep talking to you and giving you some updates in case you're curious. And the main mystery I'm dealing with is there's a woman who was on a train and she disappeared, and we're trying to figure out what happened to her. So it's not like high stakes, but it is still like charming and amusing outside of the art style.
Person, Charles, not high stakes. That woman has a family.
She could have turned into a worm.
She might have turned into a worm. I might have just spoiled the whole game. It's not that high stakes because the character only had like one conversation with her, and now we don't know where she is, and we don't really know anything about her. She's just like, I have a bad feeling about this.
So you're just kind of like, oh, that one chick. Oh, that sucks, I guess.
Yeah, and just talking to people and they're like, I don't know who you're talally about, and that's basically the game so far. So it's not like one thing I really like about murder mysteries in general, or like Ace Attorney is particularly good at it, is I really like feeling gripped by the feeling of like I have to know what's going on, and I, the player, am really invested in like diving into this and seeing what's going on. I have not really felt that in this game, but I'm such a fan of the genre and the aesthetic that's like what's keeping me going. But I was gonna say, outside of the like Ace Attorney inspiration and like the art and stuff, the writing I think is also, I wouldn't say is as funny as an Ace Attorney, not that's like a pretty high bar to hit, but is very much like lighthearted characters in serious situations, and people with like very extreme weird personalities. Like the bartender is like a mad scientist who's like trying to get people to test his concoctions, which is just like a strain of tea, and he makes it sound really creepy, and it's unclear if it is creepy or if it's not creepy, and just a lot of stuff like that where it's like yeah, but I like it, and I think it's a fun kind of game. I get the impression that it's just this one mystery, this one case. So I don't know how long of a game it is, but I'm like an hour or so in, and
you're comparing it to Phoenix Wright, which they're usually like
five
3 or 4
cases
or
usually.
something. Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah. Much longer games also. I'm getting the sense this is like relatively bite-sized. And yeah, you're talking to people, you're not like collecting evidence, but you'll I guess my biggest pet peeve with the game is you'll be in a room and you'll have a menu of options, and one of them is talk, one of them is speak to, and one of them is discuss. And I keep forgetting what each of those things are, but they're different.
Yeah.
Talk is if there's a person right in front of you, and then you can pick options to talk to them about. Speak to is picking a different person in the room that you want to summon to talk in the talk function. And discuss is when you talk privately with your companion about what's going on, kind of to get a hint of which way to go forward. Which is all separate from think, which is where you just think to yourself about what's going on, which way to go forward.
I feel like the one where you pull someone aside privately, like you could maybe use confide as like a better word to convey
There's better
that.
picks for all of them, yeah. But yeah, but I don't know. I figure it out. It's
It
not
looks
like
cool. Like
spending forever.
I've always dabbled in Phoenix Wright. My family all loves the Phoenix Wright game, so this is one that I will sort of give to them and be like, this looks like it's up your alley.
Yeah,
there's
I'm
also
playing on
a,
Switch 2, and it is running well on that.
Cool.
Yeah, there is a Steam demo. I don't know if there's a demo on Switch. Looks like this is only for PC and Switch, but yeah, if you want to try it out, there's a demo on Steam. But,
yeah, and it's just a fun little bite-sized game I want to give a shout out to. Bite-sized, I don't know if it's bite-sized, but I've never heard of this developer before. I just like being like, this game looks cool, and I'm playing it, and it is cool.
Good animation.
And thanks to Hayes.
Yeah, so developer is Harmonica, kind of harmonica without the H. As far as I can tell, this is like their first game. At least they don't have any other games on Steam to their names besides this one. But yeah, I want to check this out. I too am a Phoenix Wright fan, and this kind of to your point, kind of looks like it hits the notes mostly of the older, the OG trilogy of Phoenix Wright games, which I like.
It's also like I get in a mood sometimes where I'm like, I really want to play like a really meaty like visual novel, like a Danganronpa or an Ace Attorney or something like that, and I just know that it's like they're just so long, and I never want to do anything else. I like cannot touch it unless I'm prepared for that to be the only thing I play forever. And so this was a nice way for me to like stave off the craving basically and be like, okay, play this, and it feels like I'm being productive. I don't know, I'm playing a game I haven't played before. But yeah,
Charles, have you oh, go ahead, you first, Marcus.
I wonder if we're gonna ask the same thing. I was gonna ask, like, have you tried the Seance of Blake Manor yet?
I played a little bit of it. I didn't continue, one because the timed investigation element kind of stressed me out, where like if you're looking around, you only have so many, like every time you look at something it costs a minute of time.
Yeah.
And that was like, I don't want to feel like pressured like that. And also I'm not as into horror stuff, so I think it was kind of spooky, and I was like, maybe I don't feel like this vibe right now. But it wasn't like I hate this game. It was just I opened it up and I was like, not the vibe right now.
Sure. What were you going to ask, Kyle?
And I was going to ask, different medium, if you had watched Wake Up Dead Man yet.
No, I really want to, but it's like it was like a limited theater run, and it's not in any theaters near me.
Oh,
like the
that's
closest
about
one was
right.
an hour away.
Me and my daughter went last
but I
night.
love
Yeah, and we went
I
to a
love the
theater
Knives
and
Out
saw it.
movies.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that
great.
like a detective thing too? Or?
It's the third in the Knives Out trilogy.
Oh, I keep forgetting the name of the third movie.
Yeah.
So every time I hear it, it's a surprise of that's right. It's
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it's good.
Is that out now?
Yeah, it's at least here in Minnesota. There were a few theaters playing it
It's-
until Wednesday, but I think it's on Netflix now, right?
Okay,
It's
I
on
didn't know.
Netflix December 12th. I
Oh,
believe,
okay.
a week
Oh, it
from
is.
Friday.
Okay, I thought it was
Oh,
out
okay.
right away. Okay, cool. Well, yeah,
I didn't even know it was gonna be a
I
theatrical
really
showing.
enjoyed it a lot. I like those movies. I like Ryan Johnson a lot, and this was also a very good one. So
Nice. Like it more than Glass Onion?
yeah, and I know some people are kind of down a little bit on Glass Onion. Like it's certainly, I think it's most people's least favorite. I like Glass Onion. I like. I will.
I also like it.
Yeah.
I
like
think
it
the
too.
original is such a high bar
Yeah.
that it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the original is
But,
still
yeah.
my favorite, and then Wake Up Dead Man, and then Glass Onion. But the gap between 2 and 3, I think, is closer for me than most people. That's how I would define it. Anyway,
Yeah.
you guys should watch it or go see if you can find it in a theater. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I was too busy watching the other cerebral detective movie that was Zootopia 2, actually.
Which I also saw, and it was funny that those are both detective movies, basically.
Hey, unironically, both this or Zootopia 2 and the original, genuinely surprising twist. They
Yeah.
both got me where I
I
was
like
like,
those
oh,
movies a lot.
was not expecting the change here. like
It's
the
funny.
revelations in those movies.
Not to go down a movie rabbit hole, with no
Rabbit
pun
hole,
intended.
Judy Hopps.
Judy Hopps. But the last, I loved, I like Disney animated films. And like the last handful have just been awful. Like Moana 2,
Yeah.
I watched for like 5 minutes and I was like, I'm out. I watched Wish, which was like, what happened here? This
Oh,
is just like
yeah.
interminable. And then there's the other one that I always forget the name. It's like, it's about like it takes place on like a different planet. It was like
There was
Strange
Elio?
Strange Journey?
Strange
the
Journey.
Oh.
The one with the family that
Oh,
Which
interesting.
has
no one
kind
talks
of-
about.
It has kind of some interest. The most interesting part of that movie also like spoils the entire twist, but it's like not a great movie. So like, to go see Zootopia, it was almost like, okay, they haven't forgotten how to make a decent movie. That's reassuring.
I haven't. Zootopia is the first Disney movie that I've seen in theaters in a long time. Like I've not seen any of the ones you named. That
Yeah.
I forgot that 2 of them existed. Those
Yeah,
being Wish
right.
and Strange Journey.
Wish, man, Wish,
and
is
I have
like
not seen-
a disaster. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that was sad because that was like
happened
that was like an anniversary movie, right? Like it wasn't. They were like it was like to commemorate Disney's like I don't know, well 50th, 60th,
I think
70th
a bunch of
anniversary.
executives just kept saying we need to have an
100.
anniversary movie, and they just kept saying it to each other until a movie emerged, and they were like, "Oh, we forgot to put any of the creative people that work here on this thing."
Had a nice art direction. I like that. I was like, oh, it looks different than their other stuff.
Yeah,
That's-
bad.
But yeah, I've not
Anyway,
even
don't
seen
watch
the other
Wish.
sequels like Moana, and I haven't even seen Frozen 2 yet.
Yeah, that's not great
Zootopia 2
either.
is the first sequel I've seen from them in a while.
Zootopia.
Did you
2 is
see
good. I like it.
Encanto?
What's that?
Wait, was that Charles?
Encanto? That's the other
Oh,
one.
Encanto.
I
It's
saw
very
it
good.
recent. I actually saw it
Encanto's good.
recently. I missed it
Okay.
when it came out. I remember hearing it was good, and I watched it on a plane this year for one of our trips, and was like, "Oh, okay, this is good. I've heard good things about this."
Encanto's great. I like Encanto, but then there was like Encanto, and then it was just like a dip for like 4 years, and now
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's like
like,
after the pandemic happened, they were like, "We don't care anymore."
And
Now that
Zootopia-
people can go out and see these things.
and Zootopia 2 is like solid. It's not, I'm not even saying like it's a new Disney Renaissance. It's like, yeah, it was good. It's a nice follow up to
You weren't
another
like
good
when
movie.
Thunderbolts came out, and they're like, "Marvel's back, baby!"
I should probably watch that, huh?
It's fine. I
it's-
like it, but it's fine. It's
Yeah,
not
I
the-
think it was. I think the reception was a little overblown, but it is. I mean, it is one of the better ones, but it wasn't like in game or anything,
Right,
or anything
right,
close
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it's. I like this more than some of those other ones that they did recently.
that's where we're at, man.
I do want to. This is still a non-games related tangent, but I want to bring it up because it's kind of relevant to our earlier movie discussion. Ryan Johnson directed these Knives Out movies. Kyle, have you seen Poker Face?
Yes, I fell off the second
Okay.
season, but I enjoyed season 1. Yeah. And
Did you hear the news about Poker Face Season 3?
It has been canceled, and Peter Dinklage may come in to be the protagonist for the third season.
So
at a different streamer.
It stars Natasha Lyonne as a character named Charlie.
Yeah.
And it got canceled after season 2, and Rian Johnson is now trying to shop season 3 around at a different streaming service with Peter Dinklage playing Charlie. And has the same ability of you can tell if someone's lying, and is saying he wants to make it like an anthology show now where it's 2 seasons with an actor at a time, and then you swap out and there's just a different Charlie.
So like kind
of like a Doctor Who. It's unclear how this Charlie and the first Charlie would be related at all, but it's like such an interesting pitch. And I was going to ask a game this year. They made news. They're making a sequel, but Peter Dinklage is now cast as the lead.
Hey, speaking of recasting, remember that? Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. That's why I brought it in. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Destiny?
No, remember your question at the beginning of the segment. You're like,
Yeah.
what is the best?
Oh, the best recasting. Oh, I thought you were.
Yeah.
Because it was like Peter Dinklage was also.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's actually a good answer. Nolan North.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought you were referencing that whole thing.
That was, yeah. Well, now I'm bringing it back around to video games. I'm saying, let's say news was announced. One of the games from this year, they're getting a sequel, but Peter Dinklage is playing the main character now instead of whoever it was before. Mm-hmm. What's the best game in this scenario?
Claire Obscure, it's Peter Dinklage as Verso. Ben Starr has been.
Ooh, that'd actually be really good.
Yeah, or because he's like
that's
a big
too
time
good of
celebrity.
An answer.
Yeah. Verso as Peter Dinklage would be good.
I mean, Dinklage is I enjoy. I mean, he's sort of notably was not good in Destiny, which was they say it was his availability was why they recast him.
He was fantastic. He said that wizard line with such conviction.
But I do like Dinklage as an actor. So I was trying to think of what was a game with like a bad performance where Dinklage could come in and like fix it. And I was like, I don't know.
I'm trying to think of like modern games.
Has he been in a Kojima game?
I don't know.
No, he hasn't been scanned. He's avoided the scanner.
Because he's the type of guy that would show up in a Kojima game out of nowhere.
He would be like a weird scientist person or something. He played a Kojima game.
You guys remember that movie Pixels? It was like Adam Sandler. He plays like
a
Billy. What's his Billy Mitchell? He plays basically
it's like a Billy Mitchell parody.
Yeah.
I still have never seen that movie. I've seen clips, but I've never because I like myself too much.
You're good.
You
you're fine. Yeah, you're good. Last Rian Johnson thought before we potentially sign off. Okay. Rian Johnson, noted Pokemon fan, plays Pokemon Go obsessively, loves Pokemon
really?
Go.
I didn't know this.
Directed a Pokemon commercial at one time. I believe it was for Pokemon Go. He directed a Pokemon commercial. He said while he was writing Knives Out, he put up a bunch of noir movie posters in his office to help inspire him, one of which was Detective Pikachu. So, as much as I said this is a post I made on Blue Sky, so I'm repeating myself, but I would love for I like him to make like original movies, original Rian Johnson written and directed movies. Keep doing that. That's great. But the Pokemon Company, I bet you could get him to make a Detective Pikachu sequel. I bet you could you could probably get him to do it, and it would be really good. So
I bet he sits by the phone waiting for that call to come in. I mean,
he sits by his Rotom phone. Yeah,
he
would get that joke, is what I'm saying.
He would.
Yeah, you think? I mean, they were supposed to do a sequel to that movie, right? Like, has it made a bunch of money, and then they say we're going to do another one, and it's been how many years now?
I don't know. They're waiting for Rian Johnson to finish making all his Knives Out trilogy. He's done. He's out of contract now, and I don't know. His Star Wars trilogy is just like disappeared, so now he's available for Detective Pikachu.
Oh, he should. I would like a Knives Out mystery that is in the like just Detective Pikachu, but with his mystery chops.
Like,
and
just his sensibility, but with Pokemon in it would be great.
But it also it has to still be a Knives Out branded movie. So Daniel Craig's character is in the movie, but he's in the Pokemon world, and he's trying
that a lot.
Daniel Craig, he loves video games. I don't know if he's a Pokemon fan, but he's a big gamer. Daniel Craig.
I didn't know that either. I thought you were
Kyle,
Pokemon.
I want to do an episode of the podcast where you do a G I oughta know, but it's a bunch of celebrities, and whether or not they fall into your bucket of like celebrities that are actual gamers or not.
I
And
remember
we have to guess whether we think they are.
supposedly I remember reading a story that I think it was on the set of Casino Royale. They brought him a build of the GoldenEye remake, which has him in it, and he refused to give it back. Like he's like, I'm keeping this build because I want to play it.
I'm in this game, which means it belongs to me. I assume that's how that works.
Yeah.
Right? I thought if he was a real gamer, if he was a real gamer, he was gonna like give it back because it's not a good game.
Yeah, right.
Like this does not live up to my childhood memories of OG GoldenEye. Actually, so you can have this back.
Yeah, this is just what were you guys doing here? Yeah. Anyway, let's get them both on the podcast. Let's talk video games with Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson. That'd be amazing.
Let's get Rian Johnson, Daniel Craig, and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Also a video game. Also a big Zelda guy, so you would have a lot to talk about with him.
Yeah, I can get along with Cody
Star
Rhodes.
of the Naked Gun. I watched that new Naked Gun recently. He has a whole scene in that. I had forgotten he was in the movie, so I was delighted to see.
Well, who's he?
He's the bartender.
Oh,
Liam Neeson when he goes to that bartender
that
and he has the whole thing.
funny.
Yeah, that's Cody Rhodes. Yeah, when he spun around, I was like, "Oh, that's right, you're in this." That's like, look at
movie.
you.
Love Naked Gun. I
Great
should rewatch
movie.
that.
Kyle, did you know there's 2 wrestlers in Zootopia as well?
No, I didn't. See, this
Yeah,
is.
you know.
I know what celebrities are gamers. Marcus knows where all the wrestlers are. This is somehow we can monetize this. I don't know how, but
Yeah, it's the Z-Bros. That's Roman Reigns and CM Punk. They're
right.
the Z-Bros.
Okay, yeah,
That
they're
tracks.
Funny. They're good.
Yeah, I mean they only say the same thing over and over, but
Well, they have a revelation that's a pretty good bit later in the
it
movie.
is a good bit. Yeah. All right, everyone, we're gonna end this podcast so you can go watch Zootopia 2, and I have forgotten the name of the third Knives Out movie again.
Wake up, dead man!
Wake up, dead man! Come on, it's a U2 song that we all know and love. I'm not a big U2 fan.
It sounds like a Suda 51 game.
It does.
But yes, thank you all for listening. We are going to sign off. GameInformer.com/subscribe. Get yourself a magazine subscription again. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, we are now in bookstores starting this month. We're going to be rolling that out over the coming weeks and months, not only in the US, but internationally as well. So whether or not you pick us up there or get a magazine subscription, it is a great way to support Game Informer. You can find each of us on social media. I am at Marcus Stewart 7. Charles is at ChuckDuck365. Charles, does your cat have a social media handle where you can follow your cat that you're holding right now?
Kit, do you have anything to say? She's not gonna say anything. I don't even know I'm holding it up.
Okay.
No, she's off the grid. She's fully off the grid.
Okay. Well, no one will ever know of her crimes. And Kyle is at Kyle M. Hilliard. Streaming schedule, or rather, if you want to follow our streams, you can do so. GameInformer.com or Twitch.com/Game Informer, as well as our YouTube channel. You can watch all of our streams from every week. We stream twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. Charles, our super replay, still going on, or hopefully, I don't know, by the time you listen to this, maybe it's finally over.
Maybe.
We are in the midst of the final scenario at the time of recording.
Unless there's some fourth enemy we discover with some kind of one-hit kill mechanic, we'll probably be fine.
Can I ask you guys I know we're signing off here, a quick question about that. I was very encouraging of you guys playing that. Like I tracked down a copy of the game and sent it to you.
Yeah.
Are you guys mad at me?
No,
it's been a good.
As
It's been a
someone
good
watching,
super replay.
It's been enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there is some like BS in that game, mainly because like the reason we're still going, Kyle, I don't know if you tuned into any of the episodes, is that
not extensively. Like I'll hop in on the stream sometimes, but not. I haven't been following the sort of the full narrative.
Okay. Well, when you die in a scenario, you have to replay the scenario again. Like there's no saves.
There's checkpoints.
There's no checkpoints. So like, realistically, if there were like traditional checkpoints, we would have finished this a long time ago because we would just keep resuming our progress, which you can only do with quick saves, but the saves delete themselves as soon as you reload them, so you can't really, they're not good for preserving progress, they're just for like stopping until next time. Yeah.
Rough.
But no, it's been fun otherwise.
All right, if you insist.
It's our crazy one-hit kill deaths have all been absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
So
And
it's
they've
like
all been confined to this last scenario.
we've been swallowed whole twice and then found like a really scary guy who just ran up and punched Marcus once and he died even though he had a lot of health, and that hasn't happened since. So
Yeah,
we
like,
don't know
that sounds good.
what happened that one
That sounds
time.
like good super replay stuff right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
just
good. It's
a
good.
mutant man in a Speedo that jumped through a window and just punched me
Yeah.
one time.
That's how it goes, man. We've all been there.
But yes, like I said, you can catch that streams. Our super replays on Fridays. Wednesdays are general streams for newer releases. And yeah, visit GameInformer.com. Check out all of our stuff over there. But thanks for watching, guys. We will be back next week with an episode of the Game Informer Show. Until then, bye.